Hello, this is Mrs. Jones, and we are starting Unit 1 all over energy and Earth's resources. So this is the second semester of 6th grade science, and so we are beginning a whole new unit. Everyone will be um, have a new slate, so we'll be starting over in the grade book and everything. So this is Unit 1 of Semester 2, and we're going to be focusing today on Lessons 1 and 2. Make sure to have your science notebook ready for you. You'll want that and something to write with so you can take notes as we go. So something that has changed for this semester is there is a required science CC once a week, and that is going to be Wednesday at 11 a.m. Make sure that you plan to attend then, and there will be a weekly science check-in that you will fill out that we did those last semester, so it's really the same little quiz that you'll take, and there will be a place for you to mark that you attended and that you did what was asked in that CC, and that will give you your attendance points. Of course, we still will have class on Mondays. Those will be optional, but highly encouraged. If you can't make it to that class on Monday at 11, you can always watch the recording. And these videos that you're watching now will be embedded in the lesson that you're working on that day. And also there at the bottom of the screen, I have all of our resource room times listed. Those are the times that you can come in and I will help you with any lessons that you may need help with. If you have questions about what you're supposed to do, or if there's a specific assignment that you don't know how to do, you can come into Blackboard one of these times during the week and I will help you with those. Here you can see our calendar for January, and you can see today your lesson is lesson 1.01. So here on the 8th, that is your goal, is to finish the first lesson in Unit 1. Here's our learning goal or our target, what we want to learn in this unit. So up here at the top, you can see the bold writing. That is the state standard, meaning that by the end of the unit, this is what the state of Oklahoma and I, as your teacher, would like you to be able to do. We want you to be able to apply scientific principles to design a method for monitoring and minimizing human impact on the environment. So that, I know, lots of big words in there, but we are just going to be learning how to be aware of how humans can impact the earth and the environment around us. So we have a scale, and you can see that there on the screen. We'll be using this same scale throughout the whole unit. So if you were live in class today, I would have you use your polling tools, but since you're watching this recording, what I want you to do is just to grab your science notebook and jot down where you feel you are on the scale so that you can look back and see if you're growing as we begin to learn throughout the unit. So if you look here, we start at the bottom of the scale. That just means you're lost, you need help, you don't know what you're doing. And that's okay if you're here because we're in the very first lesson. So you may feel like this right now, but that's okay. As we go throughout the unit, you're going to feel more confident. D saying, I can explain what renewable and non-renewable resources are. If you can do that and explain how non-renewable resources affect the environment and why renewable resources are important, you would pick C. If you can do both of those things and design a method for monitoring and minimizing human impact on the environment, you'd pick B. And that is your goal. By the end of the unit, you would want to be at least at a B on this scale. Some of you may feel like you are already professionals at this and that you could do all of that and design a method for monitoring and minimizing human impact on the environment. And you can really put that into practice in your life. So you really are going to use this skill. So choose where you think you are right now and jot that in your science notebook. All right, so in Unit 1, Lesson 1, at the beginning, as you're walking through your lesson, you are going to have a vocabulary assignment. This is just a screenshot of exactly what it's asking you to do in your assignment. So you'll find these same directions in your lesson, but I just wanted to highlight a couple of things. It does tell you you have 20 vocab words that you're going to be really focusing and learning throughout the whole unit. So the unit will take us a while. You're not going to have to learn all 20 immediately, but you will want to work on these as we go so that by the end you know them, because you will be tested on these words in the unit exam. So these are important to do. Don't skip over this. You need to know these words. As you complete the unit, these words and their definitions help you understand the material or what we're learning. If you do not know these vocabulary words, you're going to feel confused and you may not even understand some of the things that you're going to be reading or some of the questions you'll see on your assignments and your quizzes. So make sure that you're working on these. There is a graphic organizer to help you as you're working on those definitions. So you would just click on that blue link. You can save those to your computer and type those definitions in there. You can print them out and handwrite those definitions. You could take your science notebook and list those definitions out for you to study. And there's also other study strategies such as making note cards that you could practice with, or have your someone at home quiz you with these vocabulary words. But it's important that you come up with a plan of how you're going to learn all 20 of these words. Also here, this is a list of those 20 words. So if you click there, you're going to see all the words that you need to know. In the next slide in your lesson, it's going to tell you exactly how to use that graphic organizer. So it gives you a picture, it'll tell you how to fill in each box and how to use that and how it's going to help you as you move along. The next slide will even give you an example of one of the graphic organizers all filled out. So make sure you go through this lesson so you know exactly what to do. So in this unit, we're going to be talking about energy resources. There are two types of energy resources, renewable resources, and there's also non-renewable resources. These are two of the words that you will see throughout the whole unit. So we know that let me grab my highlighter, a renewable resource is any resource that can be replenished over time. So these are resources that can be used again. Some examples would be wood, solar energy, and there's all kinds of renewable resources that we'll learn about later in the unit. But you just need to remember at this point that if it's renewable, that you can use it again. Also, we'll talk about non-renewable resources. These type are any resource from the earth that is limited, it's limited in supplies, and cannot be replaced if used up. So once these resources are used, they're gone. Okay, you cannot use them again. I have a quick little video that I would like you to watch. This is going to introduce you to some of those resources that we were just talking about. So go ahead and click play and watch this video. So what are some of those renewable resources? We heard some of those examples there in the video that you just watched. So if you were live in class, we would play below up the chat, but since you're watching the video, just grab your science notebook and jot down some of those resources that you can remember. Awesome. So now that you've written down the ones that you remember, I would like you to go ahead and use the screen here. You can scroll through this website and it will show you the top 10 renewable energy resources. So if you scroll down, you can read about those top 10 sources. So take a moment and do that for me. Now that you're more knowledgeable about the renewable resources, let's focus a little bit on the non-renewable. So again, get your science notebook out, pause the video, and type or write in your notebook some of those that come to mind that you already know of. So great job finding those renewable and non-renewable energy sources. Some of those non-renewable sources like oil, coal, natural gas, nuclear energy, those are the ones that will not renew. So once we use those for energy, they are gone. The ones on the left are the renewable. So our wind power, geothermal power, water sources, biomass, solar energy. We're going to learn more about each one of these and why they're renewable or non-renewable. So stay tuned. This unit is going to be super fun. On this slide, you're going to see a video. It's actually a song all about energy resources. So take a moment and listen to this song. One of the vocabulary words that you will see for the unit is biomass. What is biomass? And if you haven't had a chance to to find that definition, I would like you to do that now. This is one of those 20 words that you need to know. So find that definition and write that in your science notebook. So biomass is a type of energy provided by the waste of living materials such as plants, wood, manure, corn, soybeans, sugarcane, animal waste, and other organic materials. So here you will see a couple of charts that you will find in your lesson. So both of these charts are showing us how the United States uses their energy. So one is a pie chart you'll see on the left, and then on the right you can see a bar graph. Now the pie chart shows that we use 93% of non-renewable energy. That means once we use it, it's gone. We can't use that energy again. So the majority of the United States energy use would be the non-renewable. We do have 7% of renewable energy being used. But if you look down here, you can see this chart was pulled, or this data was researched in 2008. So this is about 10 years old. I would guess that we've made improvements on this since it's 2018. I would hope that this renewable energy would be a little larger, but I do think that the United States is still using the majority of non-renewable energy. Down below, you can even see a breakdown of those non-renewable resources and how much of those and which ones we use the most. At the top, petroleum is 37%. So that's the type of gas that we would put in our vehicles. And so that is the most, or the majority of our energy is coming from there. But we do have natural gas, coal, nuclear energy from our power plants. And then you can see that 7% of the renewable down at the bottom. And then on the bar graph, it's showing some of the same similar trends. Again, this is pulled from 2008, so it's about 10 years old, but you can see on the left, you have the usage, and there along the bottom, you will see the different types of energy and how much is being used. Also in your assignment for lesson 1, you're going to see a page that asks you to start keeping a journal. I will ask for these. You'll put them in the Dropbox towards the end of the unit. So don't wait until the very end to begin. Do these journal entries as you go. So you're going to be learning about the different energy sources, and I want you to think, as we're learning, I want you to think about how you're using those in your life. Okay, so if we're talking about fossil fuels, I want you to think about, okay, what are these fossil fuels? How do I use those in my life? And how do they affect me? So you'll keep a journal entry for each one of those types of energy consumption. And you're going to write or type at least a paragraph. Okay, it tells us down here it should be a paragraph in length and should have a proper title. You need to give me details about how much energy source is consumed in your area where you live and the effects of the consumption in that area. So here are the 5 journal entries you'll need by the end of the unit. And if it was me, I would just do these as we were going, because we have a lesson on each of these 5. We have a lesson for each of those. So you can do them as you go and as we learn. Okay, if you have questions about what to do for this, you can always email me, come to Resource Room, and we can talk about it. But there also is a rubric. If you open that, it will show you exactly what I'm going to grade you on. Okay, so open that rubric, see what you're going to be graded on so that you know how to make these journal entries. And at the end of the unit, we'll turn those in. Remember to complete lesson 1 and unit 1. As always, check your email. Make sure you read the announcements in your course. And you always want to keep an eye on your gradebook and make sure all your work is complete. Thank you for watching.